Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here into that. I do what I do for you. This is part two. What we just talked about, the chakras, or you know it as the seven souls of Ra. So let's get back to what we do. I got you. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. The message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission. Yeah, I'm on it. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do just that. Your goal is to tune in, practice, and understand, and you do just that. Know thyself. That's my goal for all right thinkers to know themselves. And I do what I do for you for that purpose. Okay, I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Help you to know you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. It's okay. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right? Think, know thyself. And to Mayat, be true. This is the second part to the seven souls of Ra, but this is going to type of concept. Right, thinkers? Let's talk about master the fire of the back, the life-giving force. And then I'm going to take you on down to the nervous system, which is what's going to explain that to you. So let's go on back. This is my stuff here. I did this over 10 years ago, so just refresh the course for me. But I just gave you a lesson. The first lesson told you about the Kong people in Africa. They were known as the Bushmen, okay, from the Kalahari Desert. So, okay, I'm picking up from there. Now, the Kong, watch this, practitioners describe the classic life force, Kundalini, y'all call it. We know it as serpent power or the souls of Ra, which began, watch this, at the pelvic region. It what? It moves up the back, so in the spine, and rises to what? The brain. We get to that with the nervous system, but that's what we're talking about. Okay, the physical body, you got the astral body that's inside here. Watch this, aka the nervous system. So watch this, and they're causing ecstatic what? Mystical experience. The experience that you have, the oneness with God, is mental along with the Kundalini rising. That's when you put the work in the physical body to make that happen. Watch this. They're going to explain it to you. But watch this. You have the mystical experience. If you're a good Christian, you live by the Christian tenets, you follow them and put in the work, you will have your mystical experience. But if you're just a Christian who just going through the motions every Sunday because they want to go to church, well, I go to church, but you're not living right, you won't never have the mystical experience. Why? You didn't put the work in. Prayer without work. That's what we're trying to tell you. You need to work. Okay. Watch this now. And with the mystical experience, which allow you, the practitioner, to what? Attain what? Expanded states of consciousness. You're becoming knowledgeable. Your intuitional knowledge, your Akashic record concepts, you be having knowledge that you hadn't even known you have. That's the concept. Your consciousness is getting raised and known to them as they call it Kia, Kia. I had a Kia car, so good car. But Kia is what they call it. That's what they watch this. Now, this what Kia, this allows them to what? Better serve their society. And that's why my yacht philosophy worked throughout the society, because if it's practiced by everybody, it's a beautiful thing. Watch this. Now, as in other nations of Africa, other tribes, other people did what they was doing. But the Kong, they began by engaging in what? Hour-long rituals. You think going to church now, sitting for a couple of hours or whatever time it takes? No, they did this for hours. Long rituals of what? Dancing. And it says, see the wedding dervish. You see them guys with happy feet, they want to, okay, that's igniting the Kundalini in you. Okay, they try to explain to you how they fire it up. Watch this. And now, what's this? The goal is to what? Arouse the N-U-M. That's their word for the life force. Again, the Kundalini, we call it Ra souls, which is said, watch this, to what? Reside in the pit of the stomach. It says here, see also the lower non-TN energy centers in the body from 3 down. Okay, watch this. Now the energy centers in the body, chakra number 3. Okay, and when warmed, decide when you warm it up, arouse, what happened? Rises. Your Kundalini rises from what? From the base of the spine, from the red level. I took you that with the last lesson, but you got the concept. So watch this. It takes you from the base of the spine, as with other accounts from what? Around the world and the initial onset of the arousal, watch this, of the arousal may be painless or may be attended by the painfulness movement of the energy, not unlike, watch this, the birth of a child. So having your Kundalini risen is going to be some pain to go through, obviously, from their concept. But watch this. With such a force, watch this, that it may challenge your sanity. That's mental. Of the what? The individual. Now it says here, see altered states of consciousness. When you introduce drugs to your system, you're going to go to what they call altered states. It's up to you, the individual, to understand that. Everybody's not ready to, their brain to head to altered states, but that's what you're doing. You're altering your consciousness. And if you got a weak constitution, you might not be able to handle it. So they tell you it questions your sanity between reality and what is not unreal. Why? If you're under the influence, a lot of people I done took acid with, and about 3 or 4 hours into the trip, they want out. Bad decision. Why? You going for the ride. So that's the concept of altered states of consciousness. They got their ayahuascas. I wanted to try it because, ultimate state, okay, but I don't want to be sick and throwing up. That's why I didn't do the other drug. Man, if I got to be, no, some things I just ain't willing to go through. So I'm back off of that concept. But watch this. Now, shrooms, acid, okay, I call that brain food, okay, like spaz, I eat them like going on a staff. Watch this. Now, this occurrence can understandably cause what? Intense fear. Of what? The unknown. Fear is nothing but a false evidence appearing real. You make that up in your mind and you become fearful of something that didn't even really happen, but you created in your mind. That's fear. So watch this. It causes intense fear of what? Bodily injury or loss of sanity. Which what? When overcome, again, fear have to be overcome. And when you overcome it, it allows what? The release of the spirit into what? The new realm of consciousness, aka the Kia state. You expanded consciousness. Now, let's talk about that right quick. The state of Kia is equal, now, watch this, to the state of Samadhi. In India, that's the enlightened state. That's what they call Samadhi in India. Yoga and Satori is Zen meditation. That's how they reach there. We call it enlightenment. Nihas, okay? Spiritual enlightenment. So everybody has a phrase for it, but it's all about getting the serpent movement. We got to get into that right now, but let me wrap this up for you right quick. Now, Kia is also a word of what? Power, where? In China and Japan, describing what? The life force, which resides where? In the in the solar plexus of the lower Dan, right there in the region of the body, See the secret of the Philosopher's Stone. That's a stone that gave you a bunch of insight, different philosophical points of views. Ain't got time for that. So now I'm gonna get to the nervous system. That's what runs the body. And you notice that it goes to the brain stem. It's connected to the brain. Sorry. Now let's talk about it right quick. So through the mind, everything is mental. Even the body have to do what it needs to connect with the brain. Through the mind and what? The nervous system. The soul is what? Able to experience. We are spiritual beings. In order for us to have human experience, we have to take on a body. So having experience to what? To interact with what? The physical world. The mind formulates what? The thoughts. Everything thoughts from up here, which are carried out how? By directing the nervous system that's inside the body to act in various ways. You don't tell yourself to breathe. You don't tell your heart to pump. Your subconscious runs the body. Understand that. Therefore, when you maintain a healthy mental nervous system is one of the most important tasks on your spiritual path. When the Kundalini serpent goes up, it's because the chakras are all lined up and they all have a certain power, a certain access that they give you. And as you go up, you get better, you get better, you get better. It works its way up to, and then from there, the seventh crown chakra, everything just, okay, that's the concept. If you had it, you understand. If not, work for it. Okay, here you go. So now, the spiritual body is what is composed of subtle, cannot be seen channels which act as what? Transformers of what? Spiritual energy. It's internal, it's in the body, but that's what's going on. And watch this. This process allows the ba, aka soul, to what? Have a form, aka body, in which it can what? Use to physically interact in the physical universe. Being human. The spirit can't be human without the body. That's why when the body ceases, if the spirit isn't wakened, which we come here to do, it goes that way. If not, it goes that way. Get the concept. So let's go. So there are many subtle channels in the subtle spiritual body. Again, 112 chakras throughout, but we count the 7 major ones. Some people count up to 14. Another lesson, but I ain't into that. We're gonna deal with the 7. All right. So now the 3 main ones, what are symbolized by the star of Shu. You know who Shu is? Take a deep breath. Air. Okay. He was the first conscious state brought on by Ra after he put the sun in place. Next thing we needed was air to breathe. Before we got here, air was here waiting for us. And he made the photosynthesis with the plants. They give up what we give off, they take. So this here, reciprocity, plants give us oxygen, we get in carbon. We work together in and out. That's constant flow, aka nature. But you got Shu, and watch this. And they call it the caduceus of Tahuti Hermes. Tahuti is the mind. He has a staff. They call it caduceus, okay? The Greeks call him Hermes. So you hear that name, that's Thoth or Tahuti. You got a bunch of names. So watch this. These subtle channels are said to be what? Located along the physical spinal cord and control what? The distribution of energy through the physical body. Again, there is a primal channel in the center of the back, hence mastering the fire. Watch this. That's the Kundalini. Watch this. The other 2 channels represented as the serpents. You see me doing that all the time. On Tahuti's, Hermes, on the caduceus, they represent the serpents on the caduceus of Tahuti Hermes and are coiled around the central channel, aka the spinal cord. Spine is here. And let me show you quick. We get to that. I'm going to show you a picture of the same concept that we started back then, we use to this day as a medical sign. So be prepared for that. We getting there now. Where we at? Okay, now Hermes, again, is the name that the Greeks gave for Tahuti, the Egyptian god Thoth or Tahuti. This symbol, watch this, has many esoteric meanings, meaning it has a whole bunch of underlying meanings to the outer side that's there. And if you don't understand that, that's what we call esoteric messaging, esoteric information. I'm about to give you that. That's what I give you all the time. Okay. I take you below the obvious. Now, in this, okay, one of them is the magic wand, okay, of Tahuti, is one of the most sacred symbols. Here we go. What's they called? The caduceus. You see page 122. I ain't got time for that. But it represents what? The two opposite forces in nature, which is what? When brought into balance, bring about physical and spiritual health. Y'all know it as the yin and the yang. We know it as Aset and Nephthys. They're going to give you a name, Ida and Pingala. Okay, but these are all names for the same aspect, the same concept. It's the symbolically. Watch this. It is a variation of this same symbol, which is what used by today's medical profession right now. The center vertical pole represents the center of the ethereal spinal cord, right? Okay? The spinal and the etheric body, meaning nervous system. We know it's there. We know that. Okay? That's what is that. And watch this. The other two snakes, they call them, represent what? Male and female. The life force in all things. God don't just do one thing. He's got to have two things, okay? Opposites. They're going to be equal. And usually we use male and female. You got upper and lower, in and out, up and down. So it's all based on duality. So understand that. Now, watch this. Now, God force in all things, including the human body. The wings. You see wings. Whenever you see me doing this, that's the wings. Let me show you this picture right quick. See that page? See that stick with the two wings? Look familiar? See in the bottom, you got a stick in his hand, aka the magic wand. You see the two serpents down there, they call it twin serpents. Okay, that represents Nephthys and Isis. I said. The other thing you see right there, he's holding the two serpents in his hand, having control. That's called Shu. He controls everything in nature. Air. Okay, watch this. Where we at? Down here. Now they represent the ethereal body. Wings. The wings symbolize what? The power that can be achieved. How? By raising the sexual energy. What that means is I gave you the lesson about semen retention. Sex is to release the semen, to produce life. That's the intent. Now we use it for pleasures of the flesh, which is the downfall, another concept. But my point is, they taught you how to semen retention gave you life force. Why? That thing that you ejaculate, that's a life giver. And if you preserve it, keep it in yourself, it's a life extender. Another lesson, but that's what the idea. And they call sexual energy what? Life force. Okay? To the top energy center. Okay, and what happens? And mastering self energy, sexual drives, one can what? Unfurls one's spiritual wings with what? Unimaginable power. Don't you say, don't the phrase, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me? I can do all things with knowledge of self. That's what strengthens us. Knowledge ain't the power. It's what you do with the knowledge that gives the power. So understand, in this system, watch this, of subtle channels comprises what? The back of who? Asar, the jet pillar that represents his back, straight up and down. And it means balancing what? The positive and negative forces. It is possible to experience what? Singularity of all things in the universe when? By including one's own being, aka knowing thyself. In the Indian yoga system, watch this, the subtle channels are known as nadis, Nadis, those are serpents. The main subtle channel, those are the chakras. The main subtle channels is known as what? Sushumna, and the two smaller subtle channels, the main shaft is Sushumna, and watch this, the small channels corresponding to the left and the right sympathetic systems are what? Called Ida and Pingala, respectively. When I get to that, I'll show you them too. But they're the same thing, the twin serpents are set Nephthys. Same thing, different words, but they mean it the same thing. The symbology is to prove what they're saying as the serpents. As the serpents, there you go, are controlled, what's this? So too, the psychic force, aka second or kundalini, will what? Will be aroused. The serpent that's inside you waits for you to activate it by what? Living right. This is the association with the what? The back of a saw. That's where the kundalini rises up the spinal cord. If you up straight and conduct yourself, they line up and it'll just do its job. Do, 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 do. Okay. Now, when the dormant energy, and watch this, dormant means it's there, it ain't done nothing. So when the dormant energy is what? Awakened, aroused, whatever you want to do, how you want to call it. You see how the Kung people did it. They aroused it by dancing and getting all worked up. Now they're showing you how. When that dormant energy is awakened, how? Righteous living. Again, what happened? It flows up through the spine, passes through the energy centers upon reaching what? The seventh center. What happens? You ready for this? When this happens, you become, it's called the anointing or contact with what? The cosmic consciousness or universal Ba, God. This occurs when you make the connection with your higher self. I hope you're getting this. Now you got Shu, the god of air. The breath of Ra, the nether, gives what? Gives us a clue as to what? A method of controlling these vital forces, aka mastering the back, the fire at the back. Shu is said to possess power over serpents. Serpents were a symbol for what? Physical and moral evil. That's where they got bad rap from. But watch this. And in the Egyptian coffin text, Shu tells us where God, the supreme being, is. This ought to be interesting. Where is God? Where he says, I am indwelling in millions of creatures who is heard in millions of words. We all got a name or a concept about God. He says, I will be known by my writ of names. Millions of them, but I'm still in all of them. They say in the beginning there was the word. Okay, God was the word. He tell you that. Watch this. I am he who brings the words of the self-creator to his what? Multiplicity. I am, excuse me, the strongest and the most vigorous of the divine band. Everybody plays a role in the group. He said, I am the bass man in the band. Okay, when he do solo, everybody stop and take notice, so to speak. And what he's telling you is, I came into being in the limbs of the self-creator. I mean, he's in all things that's create in creation, even the one who created himself, which is him. I like that. That's the Egyptian proverb. Let me get moving. Yeah, I'm watching the clock. Shu tells us he was created in the limbs of the self-creator, and that he, air, is the messenger of God and the strongest of all other gods created by the supreme being. Why do you think that is? We got the sun. Okay, he bring light, so we can need that to the crops to grow. But if we don't have oxygen, we don't have air, we don't have life. So he let it be known that's who I am. Okay, respect me. And further, watch this. Shu tells us that what? That God is indwelling where? In the millions of what? Creatures. With all living things. By the millions. God is what? Inside each of who? Us. And through the control of the breath, which we breathe, air, That's the link between what? The creator and that which is created. Don't the Bible tell you he shaped man out of the mold and then he did what? Once he manifested, he did what? Blew the breath of life in him. That's their story. We got a little different story. That's all. But it's the same thing. Breath of life still from Ra. Ra put everything in place before he made man. So that's how conscious he was. That's the concept that ancients use. For watch this. Now, he is the link between that which is created, made, and all that's been established on him. Now, in chapter 23 of the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, you, the initiate, is told to what? Pray to Shu. Why? Shu will open the mouth of the initiate as he had opened the mouth of what? The gods. Later, the initiate is now nourished with what? The food of Shu, who lives in what? Light. Ra. Light is what? Spiritual energy gained by what? The accumulation of the life force of Ra, which is sunlight, right? Now he has a nemesis, okay? Apophis, big giant serpent that can spread around the world 3 times. So that's the concept. 3.5 times you can spread around. That's how big he is. Ra don't care. They fight for 12 hours. When Ra go into his domain, he's fighting. Like you hear me say, if you hear any noise, it's me and the boys. Because when Ra right now, he's in his own world. This is his style. When he go down, when the sun go down, oh, he got to go into Apophis world and fight his way out so he can come back and shine again for us. That's been an ongoing fight since the beginning. That's the concept. So when you see sunlight, that's Ra, energy. Okay, that's what he gives. And watch this. Light energy accumulated by the sun. Watch this. And by the sublimation of what? Men. Sexual energy. Refraining from masturbation or having sex for 28 days. What happened? Which you, the initiate, uses to reach heaven. That's the oil. That's the Christos. How about that? Okay. Sunlight. The rays of the sun is what? Described as being what? The ladder to heaven. The same description of the importance of the sun rays is also indicated where? In the Mandaka Upanishad, sacred Sanskrit writing in India, the Vedanta philosophy text. They got another book. That's what the name of the book. So watch this. Where it is stated what? That sun rays are a ladder to the divine. It is important to understand that the vital energy, second, that's what the Egyptians called it, which runs through what? The subtle channels, is controlled by what? The mind. The universe is mental, says who? Tahuti, the god of wisdom. Controlling the mind, listen right thinkers, is therefore what? The way to control over the vital forces. Luke, use the force of the larger universe, the cosmos. And in the inner universe, which is the human being, as above, so below. What happens up there happens inside here. For when the individual, watch this, when your human mind gives up what? Its individuality, aka its ego personality. When you get that up, give it up, when you conquer it, and watch this, and become one with the mind of the cosmos, the heart mind. Watch this. It will discover that there is what? Only one mind that exists. We're all under the one. And what happens? It discovers that it is not limited to the physical body. I know when this body wear out, I'm good to go that way. Why? I know who I am. That's why. And but what happens? The physical body, but that it is what? One with all that exists. Since all that exists is only a projection from the mind of who? God. This state of atonement, aka spiritual enlightenment, the human mind and the cosmic mind leads to what? Health and peace. Right quick. I want to make a point. I ain't bragging. I haven't had a doctor visit. I haven't had no health issues in 10 years. Leave that there. Moving on. Why? Because I've been practicing this for 20. And for the first 10, I was practicing. The second 10, I was manifesting. Now I know what I'm doing. I know how it's done. I'm just letting you know that's what can happen when you put the heart and mind coherence, when you put the body in line and keep balance, you will have good health. So now to the extent, watch this, that what the human mind is out of atonement with the cosmic mind, there would be what? Varying levels, here we go, of dis-ease. I gave that little note before I got here because where there's complications in the body out of whack, you will have constant health issues, aka dis-ease, and what else? Emotional, psychological, spiritual unrest. You will kick and scream, complain. Why? Because you're ignorant of a lot of things that you should know about yourself. And when you don't know what to do with yourself. Okay, let me wrap this up. But by breathing rhythmically, whenever I get into a situation, I tell anybody, I just found this out. Breathe. Don't panic. No. Calm yourself. Relax. Breathe. That's the first thing. Rhythmic breathing and deeply remaining calm. That way you can articulate, you can think, you can function. It's hard to function when you frazzle and anxiety got you, and it's almost impossible for you to make good, rational decisions in that state of mind. Control the mind, keep it at ease. You see the stars, all the movies, everybody freaking out, all hell breaking loose. They just as cool and calm. Why? They calculating, they maintaining they cool, and they can think their way through the situation. Other people can't, but they freaking out. So be the cool guy. That's all. Maintain. And watch this. By breathing rhythmically and deeply, remaining your cool and your calm, and concentrating or even meditating. I know the power of meditation. Trust me. And then you got what? The second life force, which now you're controlling. And it is what? Is harmonized and is increased. Healthy living, active lifestyle, vegetarian meals, healthy, right thinking follows the laws of Maya. All of that is true if you manifest it for yourself. That's the way you know. I read this, like I said, a long time ago. I lived this for the last 10 years. So I know. I'm laughing because I know what it is. I lived this. This is what I do. Now I want you to understand you can do it too. So watch this. Follow the laws of Maya and watch this. Certain poses or exercises purify and awaken the serpents and allow the second power to flow. Lotus position. You got 26 different positions you can get in to help the body flow. I don't need all of that, okay? I use this one, sitting position, upright, rhythmic breathing. Trust me. You pick what works for you. Remember, the philosophy behind right thinking is you do what works for you. Understand that. But you have to know you and what works for you. That's my point. Moving on. Let me get this thing over with. Develop what? The living. Develop a life giving fire. Few know how to use it, and guess what? Even fewer know how to master it. When you know how to get that Kundalini to rise, you are doing the right thing in life on a daily basis. I call it receiving blessings. Why? Because that's what's happened. You're in sync with your higher self, and you're being blessed from the things that you do. That's the Kundalini. When it rises, it's going to answer all your prayers. Okay? You can do that. In the Kundalini, here we go, in the Tantra Yoga, sexual energy is seen as the force which what transforms the energy centers and their corresponding what nerves where in the physical body. Why? In order that the entire nervous system may be attuned to what? To all the pervasive cosmic consciousness. Meaning from 1 to 7, they have to line up in a straight line, hence balance through a what? Increased wisdom experience, force of will, doing what's right, self-discipline, answering to your higher self, and what? Purification of what? The mind by what? Daily studying, and the body of you, the aspirant, the essence which what? Makes up the cells of the human body is now charged and it mutates. Transformation. It actually going to change. When you talk to water, nice. The molecules arrange itself. You talk to it nasty, they rearrange. So understand that everything has memory, everything has consciousness pretty much to what it is. So understand that. Let me see, I'm almost there. We almost home. I got a little more time. Sorry. But now we're going to, on the left, the side is the caduceus, the Hermes Tahuti's Hermes staff. Watch this. How long has this been around? Throughout the last 5,000 years of Egyptian history, ain't many civilizations got that long time of a history, okay? Several moral and social decades led to what? The end of the Egyptian civilization. This decay resulted in what? In a division of Egypt into two lands, Upper and Lower Egypt. From the earliest times of the dynastic period, we're going back to 5000 BCE up until 600 AD. So we went from 5,000 to zero and started a whole new length at 600 years. That's how long it lasted. Watch this. Where we at? The ancient Egyptian text speaks of what? Rejoining the two lands, Upper and Lower Egypt. This with that conceptually. Watch this. And they called it the WRIGHT. It symbolizes what? This separation between Upper and Lower Egypt. Haru Set. Watch this. They will be in fight. They will go in holy war against each other. But when Haru put him in check, they work together for the common good. Watch this. So there is also what? A deeper mystical implication to this symbol. What is it? The W rays represents what? The serpents of the caduceus, the wand they called it, of Tahuti, magic, is leading us to what? Understand, listen, that we must what? Reunite the two levels of our conscious, lower self and the higher self. That's what I teach. That's what I live. That's what I want you to understand. I've been doing this for a long time. So understand this. Now we got a picture with the W rays to the right. You got God of wisdom and intellect. That's who Tahuti is. He's God's mind, yours, holding a W ray scepter. Okay, the caduceus. That's him right there. Okay. You see next to him is two serpents. That's Nephthys and Aset. Then you got the man, that shoe. He controlled both serpents. Okay. Upper and lower, he controlled both. And it says here, I'm wrapping up, this is it. To the left, I just showed you the picture where the god of air, Shu, Hugh, H-E-H, holding what? The serpents in control of what? Sublimation. Air is what separates what? You ready? I tell you a story. Heaven and earth was like this. Okay, the love embrace. Ra said, break it up. So he said, Shu, handle that. Shu is what? Air. Right now, they was in love embrace, beginning. When they violated the Ra's oath and they did what they want to do, and Ra punished them, Shu separated them. You got heavens up here, earth is down here. Newt and Gad, male and female. And when they came out, Newt has, it was still hard. So there was manufacturing life between them, but they had to separate what so that life can exist on earth. You get to heaven if you what live right here on earth. That's the concept, but that's the right thing. Let me tell you right now, at the end, they says air is what separates heaven and earth. Ain't nothing between heaven and earth but what? Shoot, air. So that's a perfect concept. I'm gonna end it up with we must control air. Why? In order to reunite heaven and earth. That's the concept. Hope you understood it. Hope you got it. I've been doing Kundalini a long time. Now you can practice it for yourself. It do work.